So you probably pulled into a drive-thru and decided to pick the quote-unquote healthy option for fast food, but you end up just gaining 5 pounds later and still making zero progress. And when that keeps happening, it's easy to blame fast food as to why you're not losing weight. But the truth is that fast food can work for fat loss as long as you know where to go. So today, I'm ranking the top 20 fast food chains in America so you can see which ones are actually the best at helping you lose fat and keeping it off. So let's start with the fast food chain that everyone has an opinion on when it comes to whether you're losing fat, gaining fat, or if you just love it or hate it, and that is Chick-fil-A. And you probably heard a lot on the internet that it's great for fat loss, but is that true or is it just really overrated? Here's the thing I don't think a lot of people understand when it comes to Chick-fil-A, and that's actually options. There's tons of different options for what you can get when you're there. And I know a lot of people say that it's fried and it's not a good option, but every option there you could switch to grilled, so there's not really much issue when it comes to that. There's a lot of other options on this list where you can't really do that. And in terms of sides, you got a lot of decent options such as their salads or their fruit cups. You literally just can't go wrong on this part. You just have to be intuitive with your options and just look at the menu and be like, oh yeah, I could probably just make this option grilled. And who would have thought? In terms of healthiness, of course they have a lot of additives in their food, but in reality, if you're going to any fast food restaurant, I wouldn't really stress too much about that. You're just picking the lesser evil here. And at Chick-fil-A, there's a lot of decent options in terms of the healthiness of what you have. You can decide to limit the amount of butter that you have. You can choose to get a lot of your food grilled. So compared to a lot of other options, I would say that's pretty solid. And to be honest, you could probably get something like that at a gas station for a high quality protein shake. So for Chick-fil-A, it's pretty solid in terms of how healthy it is. But the catch is, when it comes to Chick-fil-A, the biggest thing is probably the cost, because in California out here, like for me getting a sandwich, it's probably about like 12 bucks. And if you're thinking, if you're like, this is going to rack up very quickly and you're just not really getting a ton of food for the price compared to other options on this list. So that's the one thing I would have to knock it down on. But what really matters is the taste at Chick-fil-A. It does not matter that if it's like hot or cold or fried or grilled, it always tastes good. And this is my number one place where I would go if I wanted to like get any grilled chicken sandwich or just any sandwich whatsoever. So in this part, I would have to put Chick-fil-A in A tier. And this next one's really gonna hurt me, to be honest, because I just tried it for the first time this week, and that was actually Five Guys. And even though I had like zero expectations of going into Five Guys, I literally just walked out with an empty wallet and just a bunch of regret. When I walked in, the first thing that absolutely killed me was the cost. Because when I was looking at the menu, I did not realize how expensive Five Guys is. Even though I've been around one like 2 blocks away from me for probably like the past 10 years. It was $20 for a freaking burger and fries. So when it comes to value, it's literally one of the worst options you can get in terms of just buying this day in and day out. And if you're also trying to eat healthy here, you're pretty much out of luck. There's not many great options at Five Guys because there's just burgers, fries, and shakes. Come on guys, the menu is so simple that you can easily read that, hey, this is probably gonna have a lot of calories in it. And in fact, it does. For even like a simple burger of what they're having, it's like 900 calories. And that's just the burger, not even including any of the toppings. And sure, you can go bunless if you go to any burger joint, but in reality, what the hell are you doing at Five Guys then? Just don't even go to Five Guys, go to some cheaper place. And honestly, the only thing that I thought was pretty good was the fries, but that's really about it. I think the burgers are pretty mid. Nothing really to add on about that. And if you're trying to eat clean, the taste really doesn't justify for the burger, so this is easily gonna have to go into C tier. And there's any fast food chain that deserves to be an F tier, and honestly, the effing KFC does not tie to fat loss. It is one of the worst options you could pick, and here's why. Similar to Five Guys, they don't really have a very extensive menu on how healthy they are. Like a lot of the stuff that they have, it's not really healthy in terms of sides. A lot of the main food, you can't even get it as grilled anymore. They got rid of that option. It's still really, really freaking expensive. Like, I cannot believe when I just walked into the KFC, it was just ridiculously overpriced for like as little of the value that for the food that you're getting. Like, so many better options on this list. And this is gonna be a hot take, but except for me, I hate KFC for the taste. Like, I'm not against like fried chicken, but there's a lot of options here if you're gonna like have a really solid meal. This is not the option I would have at all. It's very subpar at best. So this one, honestly, gotta go straight into the F tier. All right, next up, Starbucks. Starbucks, honestly, I got beef with this place, but you can't even order beef here, unlike the others. It's one of those places that could technically work for fat loss, but you just have to like armbar the freaking company to actually give you something healthy. Because first of all, everything is insanely overpriced at Starbucks. If you have not figured that out with the drinks yet, then don't be surprised about that with the food. Like, yeah, sure, they got like some protein bars, they got some beef jerky, and some options like their egg white wrap sandwich, but most of these are like $5+. Like, I went in to get a protein bar one time, and it came out as $5. By the way, if I went to freaking GNC, they would give it to me cheaper by like $2. So this is clearly a crime coming from Starbucks. And for that price, for the taste and the health is like okay. Like, it's really not the best. It's kind of just like the ugly stepchild. Like, no one, like, they're useful, but no one really wants to pay attention to them. Most of the food is just pretty much meh. You're never leaving Starbucks that's like, wow, this is really good. You're just thinking like, well, this is kind of what I get. It's reliable, but you're not really gonna see anything that's super magical with this. Yeah, so yes, it can work, but it's pretty expensive overall, and the taste isn't really there for the price. So I'm gonna put this in B tier. And I know some people are gonna fight me on this one, but the next one's Subway, and to be honest, it's not that bad as many people like to say it is. Trust me, it's a hell of a lot better in Starbucks, and there's multiple reasons why. The first is that for the amount of food that you can get for the cost, there is so much more that you get. Like, in terms of a sandwich, sure, depending on the size that you get, it could be a little bit more expensive. You're getting like double, if not triple the food at a place like Subway compared to Starbucks. And the best thing about Subway is that you can keep customizing whatever you want. You want meat? Boom, you got meat. You want banana peppers? Boom, you got banana peppers. You want lettuce? Boom. Like, you literally just can't go wrong. There's so many things that I love about Subway, except one thing, and that's the taste. But to be told, I'd rather get a cheaper thing with a subpar taste than buying an expensive thing at Starbucks for less nutrition and the same amount of taste. You know what I mean? I'd rather like have a decent struggle meal compared to anything else. So sure, it's not like organic farm to table, but in terms of the variety and the amount of options that you can get that are still really healthy and low calorie and high protein, by the way, because everyone likes talking about high protein for some reason. It's pretty rare when you think about it when it comes to options for fast food. So for a price for about like $10 to $13, this is not that bad, and I'm gonna have to put it in high B tier. And next one is the Golden Arches, the literal poster child of fast food, and that's going to be McDonald's. Let's be honest, no matter which country you live in, you've seen it everywhere, but every year it just keeps getting more rough. It's not the best. If you're trying to lose weight, McDonald's is literally like the bad boss of terrible choices, because there are so many things you can go wrong here. Sure, you can get like some decent options if you keep swapping out different things, like maybe going bunless or having like less meat. But let's be real, if you decide to purchase something at McDonald's that's like a healthy swap, you're paying so much for it. Like, if you compare the prices to what McDonald's used to be and what it is now, it is hiked up like crazy, and it's probably just gonna keep getting worse as the time comes along. Everything's very greasy, it doesn't really taste good anymore, and just for the speed, it's absolutely like crap. I remember I walked in one time getting an iced tea, and I couldn't get it because the machine was broken, so it took 10 minutes from a lady, and there's no one in the drive-thru. Like, what the hell are you doing in your time? And that's just for iced tea. This is for other things too, like you can get for burgers, Filet-O-Fish, quarter pounders, like you name it. It probably takes a long ass time at McDonald's. And even though this was my childhood, I'm so glad that in my adult years it gave me PTSD. So there's not really anything so good about it anymore. It's just not worth it. The only pluses is that there's just a lot of locations at McDonald's. So it has to go into C tier. All right, this next one is criminally underrated, and I honestly don't know why. And to be honest, a lot of stuff when it comes to El Pollo Loco, it's grilled like a lot of other food on this list. Normally it's pretty fried and greasy, but El Pollo Loco is actually, I would say, like for the taste of what you're getting, it's actually not that bad. It's pretty solid. Price is pretty much like middle of the road. There's nothing crazy similar to Chick-fil-A, but if you want to get something customizable, getting something like a bowl is probably the best option that you can get here. Sure, they have things like tacos and burritos, but of course I'm a little bit suspicious of those places because I don't know what the hell they're making with the taco a lot of the times. And also for the macros, you can go pretty far with this wherever you're at, like especially for you getting a bowl. The bowl is literally what's saving El Pollo Loco right here. It's just super customizable, and because of that, I would have to put in A tier. It's pretty solid for what you're getting in terms of the food and just the price. And if we were talking about health, Panda Express would probably be within my top 3 of places I would want to eat out all the time for fast food, like no joke. But in reality, we are talking about like fat loss here. So let's kind of break that down. This is one of the very few fast food chains that I can just widely say, and I am a firm believer in this. And this is gonna be a hot take because I know a lot of people might not enjoy Panda Express, but except this is one of the few fast food chains that you could try anything and it tastes super good. Like almost everything I've had at Panda Express tastes phenomenal, and I don't care what you say. And then on top of that, for a price, it's not that bad. You can get you're getting like a crap ton of food at Panda Express for what you're getting, and there is a lot of variety there. But that's where it kind of falters, and that is the variety of the choices you have and the nutrition of what you have. There's so many times at Panda Express if you want to get like a actual healthy meal, you don't really have so many options. Like sure, they got the protein plates. On top of that, because everything is drenched in sauces, it's just adding more and more calories. Sure, you can get some on the side, but that's kind of just like saying that you want to like hold hands but wait till marriage. Like, you know what I mean? Like, why are you putting yourself in this situation? So if you don't know what you're really ordering in terms of that, the calories can easily sneak up on you. Of course, they have the classic example of like the side greens and the chicken teriyaki. You can just add up all that, and that tastes like still pretty solid. But aside from that, there could be other things that completely bomb, such as like the Beijing beef, the orange chicken. Like you think those sound good because it has beef and chicken in the name, but trust me, it can easily add up and you're gonna just start overeating without even knowing it. But hey, because it's so worth it in terms of just the price and the value that you're getting, and if you do pick those healthy options, then I would say this is a pretty solid place where you can go to. So easily has to go in B tier. And next one is going to be Taco Bell. And truth be told, I think Taco Bell is just not worth the hype whatsoever. And the only hype that it's getting is maybe from that time where people would steal paintings from Taco Bell, not from the actual taste of their food. And just everything in Taco Bell is just pretty mid. They're like, the prices aren't really the best. Sure, they got like a decent variety if you go with the bowls, like compared to El Pollo Loco, but except I feel like I'm getting Walmart food when I'm going to Taco Bell. Like it feels like they got all the ingredients from Walmart like the day before they expired, and they just put it in and they're like, here you go, this is what you're gonna get. And it's not like their main focus from what they're having. Sure, you can have it, but I would just go to any other place I've mentioned because it just tastes better and you're getting more food from it. And to be honest, I'd rather just go to Panda Express than go to this place. So this one has gotta be in C tier, sorry. And if you thought Taco Bell was bad, this one's just way worse, and that's gonna be Panera Bread. I feel like Panera Bread is popular enough as a fast food chain to where people come here, but if the name did not give it away, you're going there for the bread. So what makes you think immediately that this would be a healthy place? Like all the sandwiches of what you have, they're caloric bombs. They can easily just skyrocket past 1,000 calories. Like I don't even need to look at the caloric value on the thing if it just shows like beef briskets and with all the sides too. Like they got cookies and just more bread and muffins, and it just stacks up. That sure, you can be conscious and get things like maybe a salad, but you're going to a sandwich place. It just doesn't stack up, you know? It doesn't make sense. And what about just like a simple grilled cheese? Like, you know, that can't be too many calories, right? Nope, 800 calories. But guess what? Where's the cheese? It still looks like you're getting nothing from these things. And to be honest, even though the food was healthier, it still doesn't really taste that good. And when you walk out, you're not gonna be like, damn, that's a good sandwich. You're like, damn, why did I waste $11 on this sandwich? So everything about Panera Bread, calories, macros, you name it, I just don't understand why you would go to this place unless you're literally asking to overeat on a daily basis. So for this one, it does have to go to D tier. Swinging back to chicken places, we're gonna go to Popeyes. And Popeyes, oh, this one, yeah, obviously this one can't really get any better than this. Of course, they have, depending on where you live, they have certain options like blackened tenders, which are really solid for health because that's literally the only option you really get if you want something healthy. You could do quote unquote portion control and go super light on other options of like their fried chicken, but at the end, you're only gonna get like 3 to 6 pieces. There's like nothing in that. All the sides, not the best. You're just getting like tons of fried food. You're getting high in fat, that like macaroni and cheese. There's just not many good options here. And if you pick like their popular option, like the crispy signature sandwich, you're easily clocking in at like 700 plus calories from that thing. And that's not even including the sides. Like that's just a freaking, it's like meant for a baby. Like that thing is the size of a baby's head, and you're gonna eat that. Think about that. There's not many things that are balanced here whatsoever. It's really hard to eat clean at Popeyes. And for the price of what you're getting, I would say the taste is way better than like KFC, like the last time I've been here. If you're trying to eat, especially in the context of weight loss and trying to eat healthy, there's not much variety in where you can work with here in Popeyes. But because of the taste, I would have to give it bump up higher than KFC, so it's going in D tier. All right, so the next one is going to be Jersey Mike's, and this is honestly Subway's cousin that I would say that went to private school. There's a lot more things going for it compared to Subway, and let's break those down. So the first thing I would have to say for Jersey Mike's compared to Subway is just a limited amount of variety and options that you have, because not only there are a lot of different types of sandwiches, you can also get anything into a bowl, so that makes it just as good like Subway. And because they have that protein bowl, you can easily cut down like hundreds of calories from, let's say, if you didn't want to have any of the bread. And in terms of that like nutrition, of course, you get a lot of different things like the meat and the toppings that are really good overall just in health and nutrition. As for the taste and the price though, I personally love Jersey Mike's way more than I like Subway, because the prices are very similar and where you're getting it at. Like I would have to go with Jersey Mike's instead of Subway. That's why Subway is in B tier and I have to put Jersey Mike's in A tier. And as for another sandwich place, this one I honestly think is a money laundering scheme as a business, but it has to be Arby's, because I've never seen a single person in Arby's, and there was only 2 people when I went. That was my dad, me, and that's it. I didn't even see any employees or any other customers. It actually kind of scared me. Well, and until they came out, but you know what I mean. And for some reason, it's just really expensive when you go there. Like when I was going there, it cost me like $17 for a sandwich, and I was like, how is this possible? But that's because all they have is meat. Like there's not really a variety of options you're getting at Arby's. Like you might as well just take the bun off and just say, hey, give me just like some pastrami, and then the guy's like, got it, and boom, 2 pounds of pastrami for you. That's literally all you're getting in terms of variety at Arby's. And that's literally like the only benefit you could really say about Arby's, is that you know you're getting your protein in, because that's all they have is meat. And so you're just getting pounds and pounds of meat. Sure, like you could say that's a win, but if we're looking at the bigger picture of the cost and for the taste, because the taste isn't really that good, I'm gonna have to put this in a solid C tier rating. Decent protein, but not really worth it for anything else. All right, so the next stop is Wendy's, and this used to be my go-to spot when I was a kid. Maybe because I'm a ginger, or maybe because I was the 300-pound version of her when I was a little kid. Either way, aside from my childhood, let's see how this plays in terms of fat loss at Wendy's. So taste-wise, it's definitely better than McDonald's, that's for sure. Contrary to popular belief, I just think that's a fact. Like Wendy's does taste better. And if we're talking about like burgers and sandwiches, there's a lot of decent options that Wendy's actually has, because like Chick-fil-A, you can make a lot of their options grilled instead of just fried. And in terms of healthy options of what you want, they have a decent variety of what they want. You can get like grilled chicken sandwiches, grilled wraps. They have some decent sized salads if you want to pick that too. It's similar to Chick-fil-A. Like it's not the overall just solid healthy option, but they do have solid choices if you want something there. Like it's not gonna kill you. But in terms of price wise, when I go to Wendy's personally, like I've seen them giving me more food compared to McDonald's just in terms of the size. And yeah, I would just bump this up higher than McDonald's in terms of the tier list, because I also think it just tastes better. So let's put it straight up in the B tier. And the way it didn't exist, Jack in the Box would be my fallback as a kid. But these days, it's just not holding up, especially if you're trying to eat smart. Like there's just so many things at Jack in the Box. I feel like every time I go there, they have bacon in everything. And I feel like if I don't have it with it, it just kind of feels wrong. You know what I mean? And also that's the only thing that kind of tastes good at Jack in the Box, because it's just disguising everything else in the sandwich to make it actually taste better. But in terms of that taste, not very good. It's overly priced, similar to Arby's. There's just not a lot going for it, if I'm just being real with you guys. So for this, I would have to put it straight in the C tier. It's not worth coming here for literally anything. But even though this next chain is a West Coast thing, we have to talk about In-N-Out, because people treat it like a cult out here. And look guys, there's some good things, and then there's just some weird things going on at In-N-Out. The first thing is that everything is like mostly fresh at In-N-Out. Like when I have a burger, like it's actually fresh. decently tasty depending on what like you're getting. And that's actually the biggest thing, is that in In-N-Out there is of course like only burgers. And at first glance that seems relatively bad, but except this is one of the few things I would say that, but like I said before, you're just picking like the most optimal thing that you can do in the moment. So getting a protein style with like more meat and less carbs, you're getting a decent amount of protein, high fats, not so stressed out about that. And the biggest thing In-N-Out has going for it is that it is way cheaper than like any other option out on here. So this one I would say pretty solid pick for fat loss, and I'm gonna put right in the B tier. Next thing that starts with B, and that is Burger King. And it used to be the burger spot, if you've ever considered it, until they brought the whole Burger King foot lettuce thing. And if you don't know what that is, please don't search that up. You can do that in your free time. First thing I have to say, it's not cheap at all. Of course, they're limited to variety, which is just burgers, because hence Burger King. Of course, they got like certain tenders and other options like that, but I'm not going to Burger King for tenders. I'm going to Burger King for a burger. And when I get the burger, I'm always dissatisfied. Like the good thing about Burger King is that when you get like your money's worth in terms of just size. Like, cause every time I go to Burger King, I question like why I'm here, because I feel like I'm gonna have a heart attack from the size of the burger that they're giving me. This does not mean that it tastes good. It's not the best in terms of taste. There's a lot better options up there, but hey, if you're gonna go through that drive-through, I would say it's pretty quick because there's no one else there, similar to Arby's, but I think it's like okay in terms of that, way better in terms of just overall size. So this one, gotta go in B tier. And the next one, if you never heard of it, is going to be Raising Cane's. And Raising Cane's is similar to KFC, but it's just like a prettier cousin, if you will. But there's still the same mess inside. I would say that it tastes way better than KFC, but aside from that, all the things tend to align in very similar ways. So if you're looking at the health perspective, it's got that simplicity. There's not a lot of variety like let's say Subway or Jersey Mike's. You got tons and tons of fried food there. There's no grilled options. I don't know why. It's just not gonna be the healthiest option for you right there. All right, so next one is Del Taco. Personally, I like the taste more than Taco Bell. It tastes somewhat cleaner, if you even want to put a label on that. But in the realm of fast food, that's not really saying much whatsoever, because it still doesn't hit hard enough that it's going to stand out like all these other restaurants that I mentioned. There's not a lot of variety, Del Taco, similar to Taco Bell, because of course they got things like beans and the guac, and of course the different types of meat, but there's not, aside from that, unless you're getting like a bowl, there is not so much to really play with here. But this one is gonna have to go in C tier. And if you guys have not heard of this one, then you are clearly living under the rock, and because this one actually works for fat loss and for bulking and for actually any health goal, and that would be Chipotle. I don't care what people say about Chipotle. I have always loved Chipotle ever since it's been like a thing since forever. Even before I was born, I would love coming here all the time. Like, there's so much variety and customization, and it's still decently cheap for the amount of food that you're getting. I know a lot of people online complain about how it doesn't give you enough food or enough protein, but in reality, if you're comparing it to any other place here, you're getting a crap ton of food for what you're paying for. But let's say if you're comparing like an $15 to $18 bowl at Chipotle compared to just some sad sandwich at Subway, I would always go with Chipotle instead. Like, no questions, ifs, ands, or buts about that. So for this one, Chipotle, I would have to say deserves to go in S tier. So that's my personal ranking for all these things on the tier list. And if you guys disagree, I'm just gonna have to say, then put your angry comments below and just say why you think that Raising Cane's deserves to be an S tier. I would love to hear you out. But if you want to understand what you need to pick below in terms of fat loss for each of these places, regardless of where you go to, all you just need to do is to click the link in the description below, and you can download a free cheat sheet of what I would order at any of these places to lose weight. And of course, eating fast food can help you lose weight, but it means absolutely nothing if you don't know how to track your food whatsoever. So if you want to see the best calorie tracking apps that I've ranked and tested, make sure that you click this video right here, and I'll see you there in a second.